Okay, in this short video, we're going to just answer one question from this building layout. We want to know the dimension of C, which is up here. There are obviously many other things that we can find out, many that are easy to figure out, like A and B and some other things. But we don't really need them to figure out C. So there are definitely more opportunities here, but we're just going to focus on this specific part of the question. It does look more complicated than it is, which is great. So let's get started. We're working in the upper kind of quadrant here. And we have a measurement, 46 to 26, right to here. So on the other side, we can see that this line goes straight across. So we can say that from the very top to the underside of the line is also 46 to 26. And we would like to figure out this dimension. Because what we eventually want to do is find the dimension between E and F here and subtract it from that upper northeast corner, let's call it. Um, so north, never eat shredded wheat, just so we can keep track. So let's find out that upper northeast dimension. Okay, so let's see. We have what is it? 46. I'll write it over here. 46 to 26 minus the 12 to 50, right? So the whole dimension here, wow, straight line minus this guy will get us this one. So let's punch that into the calculator. 46,226 minus 12 to 50 gets us 33,976. Wow. Much harder to write on this pad than on paper. Apologies. Okay, so from here to there, we can now say with confidence, this is 33,976. Perfect. Okay, so next, let's have a look here. We have a rectangular house. It is not sitting squarely, let's say, on the lot, and it's creating a lot of angles and triangles inside and on the outside, right? We have the full-on diagonals inside that don't really get us anywhere here, but something that could get us somewhere and that we have enough information for is this triangle right here. Because we know this side, it's the 12 to 50. And we also know this side, which is the 25,000. So what we could figure out with this one is the actual angle here. And if you can see, because it's a rectangle, what we have on this side, you will have the opposite on this side, right? So we have 180 degrees total. We know that the inside here is 90. And then we will have our two kind of opposing angles on each side of that. And we have that on all sides. So if we can figure that out for down here, that's going to be the same for up here, where we can draw ourselves in this kind of a rectangle. Whoopsie, sorry, straight line. Where we can work with either side of the rectangle there to figure that out, to use the same degrees that we figured out. So let's see here. Let's draw out this first triangle. So that's this one. Oop, that is not the kind of line I'm going to draw. Here, there we go. Okay, so we have 12 to 50, right? That's this one, 12 to 50. And we have the 25,000 right here. We could also figure out this one, but we don't really care. What we do want to figure out is the angle here. So let's see, SOHCAHTOA, I already have the triangles up here. Which one can we use? Well, we have the hypotenuse, so that leaves us with SO or KA, and we want to start from the angle that we're working with, and this would be considered the opposite, right? This would be considered adjacent. So opposite, that leaves us with SO, and we're trying to find the degrees, so the sine number. So we scratch that out, and what we're left with is opposite over hypotenuse. So S equals opposite over hypotenuse. And as you know, that only gets us a ratio. And then we have to also do the sine, to the -1. So the second function sine gets you that to actually find out the degrees. Otherwise, all we have is a ratio of numbers. So 12,250 over 25,000. And I just like to write it like this to remind myself. So let's punch that into the calculator. 12,250 divided by 25,000. Second function, sine, gets us 29.34 degrees. Perfect. So that's this one here. I'll draw it in color. That's this right here. 29.34 degrees. Okay, so that's this one here, 29.34 degrees. So if we were to draw in this little rectangle up here, E, why aren't you drawing a straight line for me? Oh, because I have it on the wrong line. There you go, right to, I'm just going to draw it by hand then. Right here, right here, right here, right here. So now this is the kind of rectangle that we can work with. And you can see that the 29.34, if you think about the triangles, they have 180 degrees on the inside. So we have the 90 degrees. So it's basically a 30, 90, 60. 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? And you can see that up here too. We have the 90 degrees right here for that inside of the house triangle. This would be our 29 degrees, and then this would be our 61. So that's the next triangle we're going to work with. Right, and which numbers do we have here already? Well, we have the hypotenuse, the 18,900. We have the 29.34 degrees for our angle, and what we're looking for is the adjacent side here. Adjacent side, because if we can figure out this dimension right here, then from our northeast corner, from that full dimension, we can take off our adjacent side and we should just be left with C. That is the goal. So let's have a look here. We have a hypotenuse and we're looking for the adjacent side. So we're working with Ka. And we are looking for the adjacent side. So let's scribble that out. And we're left with cos C times H. C times H. So cos 29.34 times the hypotenuse of 18,900. Let's punch that in. Cos 29.34 times 18,900. 16,475.6. So we can round that later as we please. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom down a little bit. Great, so now we have this number, 16,475. Let's just call it 476 so it doesn't get too clustered over there. So let's figure out C, and I'll write that underneath the drawing here. C, so that's our upper dimension. So the 33,976, right? That's this dimension right here. Or really, it's the same as here. Minus our adjacent number will get us the C. Minus the 16,475, let's just call it 6. Let's see what we get there. 33,976 minus 16,476. 17,500. And that's it. I hope that's helpful. Um, yeah, it's just finding similar triangles using some trigonometry, draw out those triangles, the SOHCAHTOA ones, and just go step by step.